Welcome to another episode of Christman Garage. Yep, Baja Blast. What we're going to try to do today, this old truck's sitting down in the front end. We got a 3-inch leveling kit. We're going to try to ease her on up a little bit closer to the sky, in the front end that is, and then we'll see where the back end goes from there. So we've got new steering sticks for it, we got new ball joints for it, we got a leveling kit for it. We're going to be working on this truck for a little bit today, so take you all along. All right, for starters here, we got uppers, lowers, old ball joints. We're going to be on the left and right side, so we got all that stuff. We were going to go with the Moog fellers, but the Moog was like 3 times as much, so we went with the old Precision. That's mid-grade. We're going to be fine. Now we got the old leveling kit here, put out by Road Fury Truck List. Looks pretty legit. We got some spacers here for the boat that holds these down. Yeah, and this should lift it up 3 inches is what it's saying. So we're looking down here. This is some camber shims. Maybe we'll get the camera back right. Probably not. We've got the tie rods, the big long tie rods. They're the inners. And then we got some new tie rods for the out. They're the outers. Now this is really what's wide on this truck. She got a lot of play in the old steering wheel. The old left-right go selector there. And we're going to replace on these two while we're in there. So got a fair amount of work to do today with Baja Blast. All right. Well, first thing we want to do is we want to record where this truck's sitting at, because we want to know how much we moved it. Good gracious, this tape doesn't like cold weather. We're going to do the old race car trick again. I guess, anyhow, I'm going to do it this way just because this is the way I like to do it. And the mark is going to be, we just do this so we do a good solid clean mark. Notice now when I pull a measurement to the ground, we're at 33 inches. Okay, we're also going to check the camera. I'm going to do this at every wheel because I want to know where the back's at too. And then we're going to record all this, write it all down so we know where it goes to. So hang out. We're going to take a quick camber check of what this is before we get too excited. Old camber's on the positive side. Looks like a ½ degree positive. All right, on the right front, maybe a quarter, between a quarter and a half positive. So we got just a smidge over 0 positive on left and right. So that's gonna be our goal when we set this back. Hopefully we'll get it there. So let's start tearing this thing apart. This is old F150 Baja Blast. We got a positive ½ degree, 0.5, and on this side we had a positive 0.25, which is, that's like a ½ and a quarter. So that's going to be our goal to get back when we go. And the front to back rake on this truck, the front is 2 inches lower than back at the beginning. Now we got a 3-inch leveling, so I'm hoping we get the front end up higher than the back, and then we can bring the back up easy with blocks. So that's where we're at. All right, step number 1 is going to be disassembly. We've got the spring here. It looks like somebody's already tried to lift it up a little bit. These things, they might do a little bit, but they're not going to do as much as us putting a 3-inch block down here. It's going to be a little tricky. We're probably going to have to put a shock extension on it. You see old shockolator there. We may have another shock over there that might be the right length. We're going to measure on that. We might put a different, we might put a racing shock in there. But anyhow, we've got, I think the brake hose is going to be plenty long. We may have to ease it on over a little bit, but I think we're going to be okay with the brake hose. Everything else looks pretty good. Now these are the tie rods down here that we got to undo. We've got the outer tie rods. As you can tell, they are crusty and loose. The steering wheel, you can turn it, I don't know, 2 or 3 turns one way or the other, and it doesn't make any response. So she's a little wet. We've got the inner tie rods, which are those long ones you saw. There's the real long one, and there's the other outer tie rod. So what we're gonna do is we'll start tearing this thing apart, and when we get it all tore apart, I'll let y'all see what it looks like. All right, first things first, to get this thing to come down like we want to, you can see this shock, I believe, is fully extended. We've got a bunch of bolts up here. We're probably gonna have to make an extension for the shock. We'll probably put a block down here, lift this up. But either way, we're gonna get this longer. We're not gonna worry about it right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the brakes loose, we're gonna take the shock loose, and then we'll worry about all that later. This really shouldn't be that bad. These are the camber spacers that we've got. I've got some 2 degree. I'm hoping that the 2 degree will do what we need to do. These got to come out. There's a bolt here. We're going to work on all that too. But yeah, so here we go. Okay, fellas, we took this spacer out originally, the little nylon spacer. When we set this in there, see it, this bolt sticks up. And when this goes in there, it don't pull all the way down flush. But you see the cut was to the back, so if you put the spacer back in there, see how it brings this up flush now. And that's what we're working with now, because now when a washer goes in there, it holds the spring in there better. So you probably need to leave that nylon spacer in there, fellas. We're all learning at the same time here. So what we have to do is we're going to pull down on this. I'm going to stick it up here like this. We're going to get my assistant, which I know you probably can't see this. Okay. All right, now what we've done now, we pulled down. You see it's at a crazy angle, but it's okay. It's not going to be at the factory angle because it's going to have all this stuff clamped in there. We put the little hook up in there. We're going to put our bolt back in the top. Now the top's not going nowhere. She's solid. We're going to stick this back in place. He's going to jack up, my assistant is, and put some pressure on the spring.
Where you want it?
So
you jack
she's on up with it. Yep, she's on the bolt. You can see she's kind of going in place. Kind of like what we want. She's not off the jack stands just yet. She's almost there. All right, she's off the jack stands now. That's kind of the way the spring's going to set now. I know that might be at a little bit different angle because it's used to coming down here, but that's just the way it's going to work. I think it's going to be fine. We're going to tighten this lock nut up here. We got that held in. We got this held in. We got that right. Now, we're going to have to put a spacer on this. I'm probably going to put about a 2-inch spacer underneath here. I'm going to start working on that while I get my assistants to probably do the other side. Let's see what we're cooking. brake hose wise, we're gonna be good. Got plenty of brake hose rise. And I'm not even gonna put, well, what we've got to do, we've got to disassemble all this. Now that we've got that done, we can let the pressure back off of it and let her hang down. Let's see where she goes. We're gonna disassemble the rest of this, fellas. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take these ball joints out, take the spindle off, take the old, so we're gonna start pulling cotter keys out. All right, fellas, we're gonna take the outer tie rod, inner tie rod off the steering arm and all, top ball joint, lower ball joint, and we're gonna replace on all these. This is our camber shim. We're gonna put a different camber shim in there to change our camber. I got a 2 degree. I'm hoping that's gonna be enough. So, yep, we're gonna make a 2-inch spacer for right here. Got a little bit of work for us to do, but I'm feeling good about it at this point. This one's got a snap ring here, and it drives out this way. This one goes in this way. I am just bleeding up a storm, y'all. Gonna cut myself there, there, there. It looks kind of Christmassy, especially when you put it beside this old green creeper. It's like blue, green and red Christmassy. So, Merry Christmas, y'all. We're gonna drive this one out, and then we're gonna put some up here and try to drive that one out. Because this one here, see that, fellas? She's not supposed to be loose like that. That's some of the problem. This up here, this one's not terrible. But like I said, we're replacing on all of them. So, they look right. We're gonna take the snap ring off. Take that snap ring off right there, and then we're gonna beat on it.
Do you need that to drive with?
This is critical to driving down the road, I think. Safety first. You're not supposed to beat on hammers because they supposedly come apart. Lower ball joint, loose and floppy. She's out. Piece of pipe here. We're gonna see if it moves. Y'all let me know if it moves. Holler if it moves. Make sure you hit it. Upper ball joint, she's out. Okay, this one goes in this way. This one goes in this way. So we're gonna put them in just like so. Yeah, she's still bleeding. All right, taking this ball joints. We done got the top one pushed in. She was a little bit tougher to push in. This one here, we got to push it in. Just make sure they get started straight, fellas. And we got a big long bar on this one here. She's going in pretty good. Once she bottoms out, look at that. Yeah, she bottomed out. We're gonna break her back loose. The biggest thing is holding on to the stupid thing. And after you break her back loose, yep, it looks like we're in place to put the clip in there. We're going to try to just like that. There you go. Make sure you put your boots on. It should come with new grease fittings, which the factory ones didn't have no grease fittings in them. This one, yeah, just aim it, put it right there. Yeah, that way she'll be out towards this. That's a good place for it. All right, ball joints installed. Now we're gonna clean up underneath there. See if we can stick her back together. All right, we got the save on this sleeve. We're gonna replace on this and this. We're gonna throw this away because, yeah, that's some factory stuff. And we're just gonna we're replacing on these fellas because I'm telling you, to go left, go right selector, you could turn it half a turn before she moved anywhere. You really had to be on your toes driving, but I think it's good for my youngest son. He's learned a lot. He ain't gonna know what to think when he gets in there and he turns the wheel and it actually goes that direction.
The only time he's on the road is when he crossed it.
He's like a windshield wiper from one side to another. Okay, there's one. We're gonna get this other one off. All right. The inner left front tie rod is right hand thread. The inner right front tie rod, inner tie rod, is left hand thread. The outer left front tie rod is left hand thread, and the outer right front tie rod is right hand thread. So, yep. What I'm saying, fellas, you can't get them mixed up. Ain't one way to go. All right, let me show y'all what we're working with here. You've seen us press in the new ball joints. We got the new ball joints, bottom, top. Now, we don't have the camber bushing in there yet. I'll explain on that in a second. We got the new outer tie rods. We reused this sleeve. Got the new inner tie rods all the way over there to the other side. We've got the spacer in here. We've got the new bolt through here, and while we got it apart, we're going to put new rotors, wheel bearings, wheel seals, and brakes on. So they weren't wore completely out, but while we got it apart, that's just what we decided to do. So my guys are running to get that. Plus, we didn't have the proper camber shim. As you can see, this thing moves around like this. Now, what we have to do is we check the camber. We set it on the ground with a 0, and we're about 3.5. So they're going to get me a 3.5 camber shim, and we're going to throw the 3.5 camber shim in there, straighten the tire up, so when we set it on the ground, the tires don't wear funny. So that's kind of where we're at. And it actually, we measured it, set it on the ground, measured it, and this mark here, it went to exactly 36 inches. So the 3-inch leveling kit, these people, they know exactly what they're talking about. It brought it up exactly 3 inches. That put it about 1 inch higher in the front than on the back. So what we're going to do now is at the back, we're at 35 here, we're at 36 in the front. We're going to put some 1-inch blocks in the back that should level it out. We're going to take these apart here, separate this. We're going to put the blocks in here to raise the back up 1 more inch, and she should be setting level. So we'll let y'all see the finished product. All right, guys, there you have it. She's sitting up tall. It went up exactly 3 inches in the front, and it was an inch higher, or yeah, an inch higher than the back. So we put a 1 inch block in the back. She's sitting level, I think, to right here. It's about 34 inches or so, front and back. She might be about 1/4 of an inch higher in the back, but she looks good. You can see the blocks we've got in there on this side. Yep, we had to put longer shocks in the back. We had to make these special little adapters for the bottom of the shocks on the front. But as you can see, she's back together. So y'all remember, until next time, if she's giving trouble, she's going to the bag.